Welcome to Dopamine Fix Cinema, where today we're talking about the new Predator Killer of Killers on Hulu, and it goes hard, y'all. In fact, this may be a hot take, but it's better than any other Predator movie before it, although being a well-detailed animated anthology is highly working in its favor. By the way, y'all, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm hearing reports that this was made in Unreal Engine 5. The action starts and the pacing never really slows down. It's non-stop killing and battles for revenge and glory. I know what y'all are thinking, I'm gassing this movie up or giving Disney too much credit. Fine. Set aside an hour and a half, keep your expectations low, and watch the movie for yourself. If you don't want to hang around for the spoilers and breakdown, here's my IMDB rating, giving this film the rare 10 out of 10 stars. Beware, spoilers await. This movie features 3 different short stories of Yautja hunting killers, each roughly 20 minutes long, with the opening scroll of Yautja Codex reading, "Go forth among the stars and seek only the strongest prey. They shall be your trophy. Become the killer of killers." The first story, The Shield, takes place in 841 AD, featuring Ursa, a badass Viking along with her son and tribe out for revenge, played by Lindsay Lovaci. I'm just going to say it right now, she's my favorite. We find Ursa on a bloody trail for the warlord that killed her father when she was a child, carrying on her family tradition on enacting revenge for the death of her father. I'm not going to hold you, this is a familiar trope and it works well here. Initially, while watching her story play out, I was thinking, I just don't have that level of hate in me to do what she's doing. I do get it though, and her fighting sequences are just marvelous to watch unfold. Her weapon choices during the big battle with the warlord was awesome in its use. Having that final moment when Ursa meets the warlord and he doesn't even remember her is perfect, because for him, it was a lifetime ago, and that village was one of many and have no consequence to him now. For Ursa though, that battle during her childhood became her whole life. She's wrapped her whole tribe and son into the importance of getting this revenge for her long-dead father instead of growing their village back and prospering. So that final moment of the warlord's death seems very unfulfilling to her. Before Ursa can even speak on the moment, the first Yautja pounces, and this dude is a battle-tested hoss. At this point in the franchise, one thing that Predator films need for each individual Yautja is their name acknowledged. Put some spect on these names, because he's out here putting in the work, and with one hand no less. His missing hand is replaced with a metallic plate that, which in typical Yautja futuristic tech, can also charge up concussive blasts. The fight is epic, and in the end, Ursa defeats the Yautja with cunning tactics after observing the Yautja's inherent weakness of his thermal vision, but in a wholly unique way from how we've seen in previous films. With her tribe and son killed by the Yautja, this story ends with Ursa being abducted by a watching Yautja spaceship. The next story, The Sword, features a feudal Japan setting of 1609, where 2 brothers, Kenji and Kiyoshi, both played by Louis Ozawa, who I've previously seen starring in 2010's Predator film, as well as 3 Amazon Prime shows that I'm aware of. Anyways, the 2 young brothers are forced to fight for their place, and with Kenji defeated, he runs off only to reappear 20 years later with the death of their father figure. Now, Kenji sees his opportunity for revenge against his brother and pulls off some amazing ninja skills and breaches the city to fight his brother. The feeling and pacing of the fights in this story are dramatically different from The Shield, evoking Jackie Chan but with a dash of Assassin's Creed. The Yautja reveals itself when it perceives the battle is over, and oh boy is the warrior completely different from the Yautja in The Shield. This one is slimmer and with a unique set of weaponry, rocking a spear, a bladed chain similar to Mortal Kombat's Scorpion, get over here, and not 1 but 2 shoulder mounted blasters, and a gauntlet that fires razor-sharp exploding projectiles. Kenji levels a few blows on a Yautja and narrowly escapes, only to run into a still alive Kiyoshi, ready to continue their sibling rivalry. Before they can begin, the Yautja reappears, and now both brothers take on this fearsome warrior. Through working together, they are able to defeat the Yautja with a wonderful anime-inspired death sequence. Kiyoshi, fatally wounded by the Yautja, dies, and Kenji is next seen on the same Yautja ship as Ursa. Next, we skip ahead to 1941 with The Bullet, and meet Torres, played by Rick Gonzalez, who has appeared in almost every cop TV show worth watching, from Law & Order to CSI, Castle, and was even in the Arrowverse shows as a superhero Wild Dog. Torres is a naval mechanic with dreams of being a pilot one day, and during a battle in the Pacific during World War II, Torres realizes something is amiss when he notices the strange Yautja projectile, which seems to be some form of metal-attracted harpoon inside a damaged fighter plane. Taken to the skies in a broken-down fighter plane to inform his friend Vandy, played by the original Terminator and Aliens actor Michael Biehn, Torres attempts to help during a wild dogfight sequence that maintains this movie's theme of delivering completely different fighting aesthetic and experience. The Yautja pilot again looks vastly different, sporting a metal patch over one missing eye, an incredibly unique mask, a head shape devoid of the classic Yautja crown that we normally see, and no locks either. His head shape is surprisingly a lot rounder and human-shaped, which just goes to show that, like humans, Yautja come in a wide variety of shapes and sizes, unlike other life forms that almost all look uniform. This Yautja's dogfighting ship has a strange array of weapons for its ship, firing the classic constricting metal Yautja nets and the previously mentioned harpoons. The battle, while still thrilling, also still doesn't hit the same visceral impact of the other two stories. What does still ring true, though, is the human ingenuity required to think creatively, recognize the Yautja weaknesses of thermal vision, and capitalize on it. After returning home, Torres is visited by the Yautja ship, abducted, and as the ship flies away, it is revealed that the ship's thrusters are what form the classic crop circle seen across the United States history. Now, with all three killers of Yautja warriors assembled on this ship, we find out that the Yautja can hibernate specimens that they collect in waiting for battle. The killers arrive on the battle planet, and our group meets the leader of this tribe, adorned in a cape made out of xenomorph tails that trail behind him. This hulking Yautja leader also looks completely different from the previous three we've seen. We witness this leader ordering henchmen who all seem to wear masks made out of bone instead of technology. Kenji, Ursa, and Torres all wear metal collars which translate the Yautja language to their respective languages and also explodes on command. The killers are informed that they must fight to the death, and when only one remains, the survivor will fight the leader. Yet another epic battle for survival ensues, and our group realizes they must work together to win. Much like the Roman gladiators, the Yautja release a giant dinosaur-sized alien beast into the arena, and after defeating it, they cooperate to effect their miraculous escape in a Yautja leader's ship with Torres piloting. Using a retracting harpoon, the ship is entangled, and Ursa must sacrifice herself, finally realizing that living a life of revenge is not worthwhile. Ursa sets the ship free and calls the Yautja leader Grendel King from Norse mythology, which does seem fitting given his appearance. The Yautja leader does not seem at all disappointed with how things have turned out, though, and Ursa is put back in hibernation and yells to his tribe to "Let's go hunting." Wow, what a triumphant moment this is as we pan out and see at least 20 or more Yautja ships are starting to take off to chase Kenji and Torres. I literally jumped out of my seat at this moment. Inside this facility, we get a glimpse of hundreds of hibernation chambers holding a wide variety of species, and even Naru, played by Amber Midthunder from the Prey movie, is in a hibernation chamber, giving us the strange fate of her character. The film is directed and written by Dan Trachtenberg, much like the prequel Prey was, and soon-to-be-released sequel to this, Predator Badlands. Disney via 20th Century Studios imprint is wisely staying hands-off and letting Dan the Man cook to great success. The music in this movie gives classic Predator vibes, and the stingers are all appropriately placed for maximum effect. Chills ran through me every time the Predator stinger played from the original film. At this point, it's equivalent to the Jaws and Friday the 13th music cues. That brings me to the end of this Predator Killer of Killers review. Again, giving this film the rare 10 out of 10 stars on IMDB. Have you seen the film yet? Do you agree with my review score? Tell me what score you would give this film down below in the comments, along with which short story you liked the best, and tune in for more Dopamine Fix Cinema.